So it's no surprise to people who work at Buckingham Palace. They saw and witnessed all this here.
It is 100% clear that there is trouble in paradise and that the marriage is not long for this world.
Viewer discretion is advised. This clip contains weapons-grade hypocrisy. No, the world's biggest victims right now are the Duke and Duchess of Netflix. And don't take my word for it.
What on earth is Prince Harry doing in China, of all places?
Marries a Z-list US TV actress and he thinks he's safe in her hands?
They moved from England to get away from the scrutiny of the press, and all they do is try to get in the press in the United States.
Nobody set out to destroy you. You destroyed yourselves in this country with your ludicrous, hypocritical behaviour. The truth be told, what you just said is complete and utter garbage.
So much of what Meghan is and how she is so similar to my mum.
You've got to be joking.
This also follows all the stories about her bullying staff over here in the UK.
Today, Harry and Meghan torched what little was left of their relationship with the royal family and what little was left, frankly, of their own reputations.
They're the most entitled, disingenuous people on the planet.
Y'all, buckle up, because this is the kind of tea that has palace halls trembling. So apparently, Meghan and Harry, yes, that Meghan and Harry, straight up told palace staff, don't look at us. No eye contact, no questions, nothing. Like, what? That's not royal behavior. That's straight out of Hollywood diva territory. And get this, insiders are whispering that this outrageous demand, oh honey, that was just the beginning.
This is a delusional, treacherous, bitter little man who's completely lost touch with all reality.
Staff who allegedly saw this bizarre behavior up close said it was like Meghan and Harry were building a fortress of control. They didn't want any direct looks, no glances, no nothing. You do your job and you keep your head down. It was like working in a royal haunted house. You could hear the whispers, feel the tension, but don't dare look directly at the ghosts. What were they hiding? Was it insecurity, a twisted power move, or were they just paranoid about being watched 24/7? Whatever the reason, that one rule alone turned their environment into something straight out of a Hollywood movie set. No longer a royal residence, but a scene of drama, control, and cold silence.
Two sources say a colleague with ties to Archetypes, her podcast, took a leave of absence after working on 3 episodes, then left Gimlet, the podcast producer, altogether. Several others described taking extended breaks from work to escape scrutiny, meaning from her, exiting their job or undergoing long-term therapy after working with Meghan.
And y'all, that eye contact rule, that wasn't a one-time thing. Oh no. Staffers say they were reminded constantly, over and over, do not look them in the eye. People said it felt dehumanizing, like they were nothing but stagehands on Meghan and Harry's personal soap opera. And let's be real, for two people who built their brand on kindness and compassion, this is the twist no one saw coming. Gossip exploded. Everyone in those palace halls started trading stories like collector's items. Some whispered that Meghan was the mastermind, channeling Hollywood coldness and diva detachment. Others said it was Harry, trying to keep them safe from the palace vultures. Either way, the vibe was ice cold. Every interaction was wrapped in tension. And y'all, that eye contact rule, that was just the first bullet on a list of diva demands that has the palace staff still picking their jaws off the floor.
And we know that Meghan has a long history of dumping those that have served their purpose. Everyone in Meghan Markle's world is expendable.
According to the whispers, Meghan and Harry allegedly dropped a whole list of do's and don'ts. A royal rule book that had staff walking on eggshells. No friendly chats, no surprise hellos, no warmth, not even curiosity. They were reportedly told exactly what to say when greeting the couple. No improvising allowed. One staffer said it felt like a script, not a job. And let me tell you, the rumors swirled that Meghan's Hollywood roots were showing hard. Some believe she was just bringing that red carpet behavior straight into Buckingham Palace. Others think the couple just couldn't handle the pressure anymore and decided to pull a full PR stunt on the inside. But no one could figure out why the rules had to be so strict, so intense, so unforgiving. The whole thing had palace insiders comparing it to a fishbowl. But instead of admiring the fish, you were told to act like they didn't even exist. Welcome to the Meghan and Harry show. No eye contact, no emotion, just silent obedience. And it doesn't stop there.
This also follows all the stories about her bullying staff over here in the UK, which is unresolved. NDAs stopped all that stuff coming out. But she bullied people in a very unpleasant way over here.
Staffers allegedly weren't even allowed to ask personal questions, not even small talk about the weather. One wrong word and you'd be iced out like yesterday's leftovers. Every moment had to be curated like a Netflix scene. It was giving royal lockdown, not royal lifestyle. Whispers started swirling. Some think it was about control. Others think Meghan wanted to dominate a centuries-old institution and say, I run this now. And some, they think Harry was just desperate to protect his bubble of peace after decades under the royal microscope. Either way, the result, an atmosphere that felt less like Kensington and more like a hostage situation. Tension hung in the air like storm clouds ready to burst.
Inevitable divorce will be a hellish car crash in slow motion for Prince Harry, who was naive and stupid enough to think that he would be, married to this woman for life. This woman who is famously narcissistic, social climbing, and ruthless. He thought they would be together forever. What a fool.
And let's talk about Meghan's mindset. Insiders say she felt constantly exposed, like prey in a media circus. Some even say she started spiraling. So the couple created a rule book, not just for safety, but for control. Total, airtight control. Some say it wasn't even about fear. It was about taking inspiration from Hollywood's A-listers, the kind of celebs who become untouchable by being emotionally unreadable. If staff can't look you in the eye, they can't gossip. They can't read your mood. They can't slip up and expose your truth. But others, they say this wasn't about protection, this was about power. Meghan and Harry allegedly didn't want to be part of the palace machinery. They wanted to sit above it. The rules weren't for safety, they were for status. And behind the walls of the palace, the question that wouldn't die was, were Meghan and Harry victims of royal oppression, or were they building their own monarchy of silence?
Now, the king can end this feud, Harry's right. But not by shaking hands with this treacherous little weasel, but by stripping him and his wife of the royal titles that they love to use for commercial gain without doing any of the work.
The reaction inside the palace, pure shock. Staffers were reportedly stunned, hurt, and confused. One described feeling like a prop, not a person, like their whole existence had been downgraded from royal aid to background furniture. People joined the palace expecting honor, pride, tradition. What they got? A workplace wrapped in silence and suspicion. Staff who once shared laughs and loyalty allegedly found themselves walking on invisible glass, unsure if they were welcome or just tolerated. Some tried to rationalize it. Maybe Meghan and Harry were just overwhelmed. Maybe they didn't know how to navigate royal expectations. But even those who tried to be understanding couldn't deny the ice that had crept into the walls of the palace. It was like the heartbeat of the royal home had slowed to a frigid crawl. And if you think that was bad, wait till you hear what happened to the palace routine.
Every week, I'm genuinely surprised by what happens with the Sussexes. There's always something that happens and I think, well, I didn't see that coming. What on earth is Prince Harry doing in China, of all places?
Honey, the palace used to run like a Swiss watch. Tight schedules, ancient customs, everyone knowing their place. But once Meghan and Harry's rules dropped, it turned into chaos. Nobody knew what was allowed anymore. A glance in the hallway could get you reprimanded. A cheerful good morning seen as an invasion. Chefs, footmen, butlers, everyone was tiptoeing around like they were walking through a minefield. Even royals allegedly noticed. Glances exchanged, private chats held in corners, everyone trying to figure out how to fix the growing rift. And apparently the rules kept evolving. More restrictions, more silence, less humanity. Staff were told, don't interrupt Meghan and Harry unless it's urgent. No updates, no check-ins, just vanish. Do your job in the shadows. And yet, there was a weird fascination with it all too. Like everyone knew they were living in the middle of a royal reality show. And it didn't just mess up the schedule.
The person who interacted professionally with her says, I think if Meghan acknowledged her own shortcomings or personal contributions to situations, rather than staying trapped in a victim narrative, her perception might be better.
They were pushed aside, just like that. People who were once trusted confidants were suddenly excluded, ghosted, cut off. The palace, once a place of unshakable loyalty and tradition, was now unraveling under a cloud of secrecy and whispered rules. People started asking, where were Meghan and Harry getting these ideas? And that's when the rumors took a wild left turn into Hollywood. Yes, insiders started pointing fingers at Meghan's old stomping grounds, TV sets, PR coaches, handlers who trained celebs to script every move and dodge every headline. Staff couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't living in royal reality anymore. They were extras on the Meghan and Harry show. Meghan allegedly brought the red carpet rules straight into the royal halls. One insider said it felt like working on a movie set where the star called all the shots and nobody else mattered. And while some were sure this was Meghan's doing, others believed Harry was no innocent bystander either. Because here's where it gets even messier. Whether the rule book was Meghan's idea or Harry's, it didn't matter. The palace atmosphere was wrecked. Staff started saying it felt like they were working at an award show, not serving a royal family. Every move had to be rehearsed, every greeting rehearsed, every pause scripted. Staffers began to feel like they were in a surreal performance. And the worst part, no one could call it out. The culture of royal loyalty kept mouths shut, but the looks exchanged behind closed doors screamed confusion. And then came the next bombshell that most of these rules, they weren't even delivered in person. Nope. According to insiders, Meghan and Harry didn't even speak the rules aloud. They allegedly used assistants as messengers, passing orders down like royal chain letters. There was no feedback, no clarity, no humanity, just cold instructions dropped from a distance. It created an environment of mystery. Meghan and Harry became almost mythical. Distant royals wrapped in fog, never to be approached. It was like living near a ghost, present but untouchable. And while people kept pointing to Meghan, the murmurs about Harry grew louder because this wasn't just Meghan's Hollywood training, this was Harry, the royal golden boy, allegedly backing it all up. Whispered instructions. Reinforced rules. The same Harry who used to joke with staff in the halls, gone. Was he just defending his wife, or was this his new identity? One thing was certain, the Harry staff used to know, he wasn't there anymore. And just when you thought the tea was over, oh no, sweetie, we're only halfway through the pot. Because allegedly, there's more. A lot more. According to the whispers, there wasn't just a short list of rules. There was an entire binder, a secret dossier, pages and pages of instructions passed around like contraband. One former staffer even described it as a rule book meant to keep everyone off balance. They say Meghan and Harry were running the palace like a Hollywood production. Every smile, every gesture, every moment choreographed. And others say it wasn't showbiz strategy, it was pure paranoia. That Meghan and Harry felt so threatened, so exposed, that they started seeing betrayal in every face, even the loyal ones. The alleged rule book didn't come all at once either, it was drip-fed. One rule here, another there. Staff were constantly left guessing. What's the rule today? What mistake will get me scolded tomorrow? It was like playing a game where the goalposts kept moving and the ref never showed up. Staff felt like they were in a psychological maze. And that's when people started asking the biggest question of all. Was all this about protecting themselves or about controlling everyone around them? Because despite all the drama, one thing's clear, Meghan and Harry have never played by the rules, and whether you love them or loathe them, they're rewriting history, one whispered order at a time. And in the rigid, time-frozen world of British royalty, that's not just rebellious, it's revolutionary. So now the question hanging in the air is this. Was this whole list of demands just about peace and privacy, or was it a full-blown power grab? Some say it was Meghan grabbing the reins. Others say Harry was the true mastermind, trying to create a bubble where no pain, no headlines, and no scrutiny could touch them. But here's the twist. Even the most loyal staffers say the damage was done, the warmth was gone, the trust was gone. The sense of royal family? Gone. They were no longer serving a monarchy. They were catering to a brand. A brand so carefully curated, so tightly scripted that no one could breathe. And when staff finally realized they were just pieces on a chessboard, that's when the resentment kicked in. People say the Meghan and Harry they once admired, the couple who stood for love and freedom, they vanished. And in their place, two guarded figures trapped inside their own rules, hiding from something. Or maybe everyone? One aide reportedly said it was like watching someone build a castle only to realize it's a cage. So now we turn to you. Was all this about shielding themselves from the pain of the spotlight? Or was it a power play gone way too far? Let's be real, this royal drama isn't cooling down anytime soon. Every rumor, every whisper, every unseen page of that secret rule book only adds more fuel to the fire. And the Meghan and Harry story? Oh, honey, it's still being written, one whispered demand at a time. So, what do you think? Were they just misunderstood, or did they go full diva mode behind palace doors? Let us know in the comments. And if you think this was wild, just wait till you see what's coming next, because in this royal saga, the crown is optional, but the chaos guaranteed.